and look at what that. I want to talk to you directly, Eliza. I want to talk to you directly, Brittany. Jeremy, what's happening, brother? I don't know how you even got roped into all this, but really this is about Brittany's, your unjust ban on Twitter. And I think if we make enough noise about it, they'll give you your account back without you having to take down that freaking tweet. Maybe the reason I haven't talked about it is because I didn't really know what was going on. And I still, to be honest, it's a lot of hearsay.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this Eliza Bleu story once again, okay? Because it seems like she's panicking because the walls are closing in on her in regards to, you know, whether or not she actually was a victim of human trafficking or was she just kind of making it up for clout. I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But what I really care about here, more so than her claims, is the censorship that has come as a result of people trying to verify her claims. Because whether her claims are true or not, I don't think that necessarily takes away from her work or the alleged work that she's doing today. Okay, let's just say she made all the claims up. She was not actually a victim of human trafficking. If she's been an advocate for, you know, actual real victims, then, you know, it is what it is. But the censorship is where I think that a lot of people are having problems, and why this story has become so much more bigger than it otherwise would be is because I feel like my channel, I've been very big against this type of censorship, and I don't feel right not speaking out about it when it is something that is happening to, I guess you could say, my colleagues, right? Even though I don't really know these people, they are kind of my colleagues in the sense that they do the same thing I do, and I don't want to see them get censored, right? I wouldn't want this to happen to me. So, you know, I'm going to stand up for people who get censored unjustly on the internet, even if I disagree with them politically, okay? I don't think there's many people here that are involved in the story that I disagree with politically, but I'm just saying, Eliza Bleu has went on a censorship spree against those who are basically trying to find out if her claims are true, okay? And one thing she's been doing is that she's been making privacy complaints and copyright complaints against people who have been posting either the video or a screenshot of a music video that she did that was posted on World Star Hip Hop a few years ago, that seemed 100% consensual, right? She got paid for it. There's audio, video evidence out there of her, you know, basically talking about how much fun she had making the video and how proud of that video she was. Again, doesn't sound like the experience of somebody who was allegedly trafficked to be a part of that video, which is her justification for getting YouTube and Twitter to take down any evidence that she actually did the video in the first place. It's pretty fascinating. So one person that has been taking a whole lot of heat for refusing to address the situation is Mr. Tim Pool, who had Eliza Bleu on his show twice, and his audience basically demanded that he speak about it. He refused to speak on it. And after, you know, a whole lot of backlash, he's finally kind of trying somewhat to address the situation. Take a look.
We're gonna dive headfirst into the shallow end with this next story about Eliza Bleu, Chrissy Mayer, and all the stuff that's been going on over the past week. And we'll be as candid as possible. I'm sure we'll piss some people off. But we have this tweet from Chrissy Mayer. For those that aren't familiar, Chrissy Mayer is a comedian, and she hosts a podcast called Simpcast. And she's been on the show, I think a couple times, right? It's been a couple times. We've had her on the show before. And so there's been some controversy related to a guest we had recently, Eliza Bleu, and some censorship actions that she's been accused of, notably filing privacy requests against people who talk about her past work. And so here we have the story from Chrissy Mayer. She says, Eliza Bleu got 4 of my YouTube videos removed for showing a Fair and Balanced doc trailer, which featured 3 to 5 seconds of her public, at the time now removed, World Star Hip Hop video. Must be nice to have the power to rewrite history, then gaslight Twitter and YouTube into accepting it. Now, I'll say this outright. You know, I said previously I'm uninterested in this. And I'll kind of, you know, I think this got to the point where literally right before the show, I saw this tweet and I'm like, okay, guys, you got me. All right. Like, I'm starting to see and learn more that's having me question what's going on if YouTube videos are getting pulled. And we're hearing that a bunch of people actually had YouTube videos getting pulled. And so this clearly is an abuse of the system to a degree that we've not seen for a while now. It used to be in the early days of YouTube there were attempts by political rivals to falsely flag and get people's content removed. And now it seems like we're seeing an uptick in this, particularly pertaining to Eliza.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the gist of what he said for the most part when it comes to the Eliza Bleu situation. He's actually acknowledging that the censorship is happening, right? And that, you know, it is kind of at an unprecedented level here. And then he went on to apologize to the quartering and whatnot and to try to make up and to talk about all the drama going on between conservatives. There's a whole lot of conservative infighting going on, right? You got Project Veritas, they're at war with each other. Tim Pool and the quartering, they seem to have made up, but they beefing. You got Patrick Bet David and Jason Whitlock, right? Again, you got a whole lot of beef, okay? Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire. That's what happens when the news cycle's slow, guys, right? I'm just peeping you on game, okay? When the news cycle is slow, this is where you get this type of stuff, right? You got to have something to keep the viewers interested, okay? I'm not saying it's made up. I'm just saying it tends to happen on the left and the right, okay? The left does a whole lot of infighting as well, too. It just is what happens when the news cycle's slow. So with that being said, it's not just Tim Pool that is finally addressing this. You have people like Candace Owens, who previously had said nothing about it. She's kind of getting involved. As she tweeted, the Eliza Bleu story is really interesting. Absolutely absurd. She thinks she can sue people to cover her tracks. I am definitely going to look further into this and report on it. She goes on to say, I am out to Eliza Bleu for comment. I want to give her every opportunity to answer questions. I am deeply bothered by the idea that Elon Musk would allow Twitter to stifle the voices of those who happened upon major discrepancies regarding his employee's story of trafficking. Now, I mean, technically, is she an employee of Twitter? Right. I'm not sure if I could say she's an employee of Twitter. But, you know, she's definitely kind of the go-to person when it comes to, you know, human trafficking on Twitter. She goes on to say, in my personal capacity, I give and support human sex trafficking charities. This issue is very important to me. I'm committed to getting answers for people who, like Brittany Whitney, are having their accounts locked for noticing flagrant discrepancies in someone's story. In fact, that's what this is about, right? It's about censorship. I don't care if she's lying or not, okay? I mean, whether or not she's lying, I mean, it is what it is. You know, I really care more about the censorship more than anything. Actually, I do care about her lying because I think her lying, and I'm going to tell you guys why in a little bit later, get more in depth. I think she does kind of make real abusers in their stories. I think that it kind of waters like real victims in their stories down. Again, I don't know if she's a real victim or not. I'm just saying from what I'm saying, I have very, very, very strong reason to believe that at least some of what she was doing was consensual. And I'm not saying that based off just stuff that I've seen on the internet. I'm saying off stuff that I've seen privately, right? I'm just saying. I think some of it was consensual. I'm not saying all of it was, but I think some of it was definitely consensual. She says, I am hoping that this Eliza Bleu thing is just one big misunderstanding. It is almost too unconscionable to perceive any individual lying about something as serious as sex trafficking. Hey, I hope so too. So with that being said, Eliza Bleu has put out this kind of insane tweet, right? That has a whole lot of people talking, as she claims that, quote, today I have decided to change my story as a survivor. I have been abused a third time on a mass digital scale. It's called image-based sexual abuse. Every individual who knowingly profited off of this content without my consent has become my abuser in my story. So, wow. She's playing the victim card here, right? And she actually really like kind of doubling and tripling down on it, saying that she's now the victim of a new category that I've never heard of sexual abuse. She calls it image-based, right? Basically, if you show a picture that is publicly available on the internet of somebody else, okay, a video that, you know, she shot that was on YouTube, that was on World Star for years, right? I think more than 5 years. If you show that, if you reshare that, you are a perpetrator of IBSA, right? Image-based sexual abuse. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, again, you can look up any, you know, picture of a model or Instagram star or whatever, right? That's even, you know, slightly sexual in nature. If you show it, if you do a video about it, then I guess technically, according to Eliza Bleu, that is image-based sexual abuse, right? Amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing. I don't think this is the way I'll be responding to this. She says, you didn't fight censorship. You fought to exploit me. Right now she's claiming she's been exploited. New, partially nude, sexually suggested content without my consent. If you would have asked, I wouldn't have consented. You believe that I consented previously, so you decided to take my body and use it for your gain. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think she understands fair use, right? Again, these images were publicly available, and if people are using these images for commentary purposes, they're using it for fair use purposes, then again, they don't necessarily need your consent, right? Your consent is not necessary. Again, this is crazy. If this is actually a real thing, and what she's saying is true, I don't think it would be possible to talk about anybody on the internet, right? Or to put it this way, you would better talk about them and use images or videos of them, right? It's kind of crazy. And like I was saying before, it's a slap in the face to actual real survivors of human sex trafficking, okay, that actually really went through it. It's a slap in the face to come up with these frivolous, like, categories or, forms of abuse or whatever that is not really abuse, right? It's 100% legal. It's fair use. And she's just mad because people are calling her out, right? They're using the videos. They're using content that is publicly available online to contradict a story that has been the basis of her career. She says, so to prove that I'm not a survivor, many made me a victim again. You can never say that I'm not a survivor of exploitation now because you made me one again. You didn't fight to expose government malfeasance or tech censorship. You fought to post my body without consent. Again, where was all this when WorldStar had that video and YouTube had that video up before people started using it as evidence that, hey, there's some discrepancies in your story? She had no problems with it. She, in fact, was proud of it when people didn't realize that that video contradicted her story. She was totally happy with it, right? She was totally cool with it. Allegedly, she got paid for it. So I'm trying to figure out, why are you so upset about it now to the point where you are abusing a system to try to get it taken down? Now, she claims that, or there are claims, particularly this person right here, Carolyn Boyan Cinco. I read an article of hers where she believes Eliza Bleu was actually a victim of human trafficking and that she was trafficked in that video, right? That video was done without her consent. This is what she argues. Again, I don't know, but I'm just saying, if that's the case, then why was the video up for so long before she actually complained about it? She didn't care until people actually started to put the pieces together in regards to her story. And that music video, again, contradicts her story. Again, I'm not sure how can you be openly proud of being in a music video in which you were allegedly trafficked. Again, none of this makes sense, right? None of this makes sense. But again, there's always two sides to a story. Lauren Chan said in response, it's not sexual abuse to share a public music video that honestly wasn't even age restricted. You could have just admitted you've done things you're not proud of in your past, and most people would have understood. Facts. Unless there's some things in your past that you did that would basically prove that, hey, you were not a survivor of human trafficking, okay? That you were into some other stuff and you basically said that was trafficking when it really wasn't. Again, if I was a betting man, I would probably say that was it. But I don't know. I have no clue. And then she says, I need brave men to stand up for me right now, please. I'm begging you. That's the first time over the past 3 weeks that I've asked anyone to help me or stand up for me. This guy, D-Day Cobra, he says, I know a guy, and then posts Jack Murphy. Yeah. Hey, I don't blame her for asking men to stand up for her. Okay. I get it. When women need help, the first thing they do is call a man, right? I'm just saying, this is what they do. Okay. And that's fine. That's totally fine. That's what you're expected to do. But I just want to point that out. She called a man, right? When she needed help, she needed a man. But, I mean, look, here's the thing, man. This is kind of crazy to me. The censorship is insane. But apparently, you know, she's provided enough evidence to YouTube and Twitter that she actually was trafficked in that video and that it wasn't consensual, that YouTube and Twitter, you know, they're going along with it, okay, and they're banning people, they're censoring people. Maybe she should provide the evidence to us, right? Provide evidence to the world that that was not done consensually and that you were trafficked in that video. Provide the same evidence that has convinced YouTube and Twitter to take it down and to capitulate to these privacy complaints. Provide the evidence, man. You know, if you really were, start naming names. This is who I was trafficked by. This person, that person, name them, right? Start providing proof and evidence to start naming names, right? Because again, this is a big issue, right? It's a big enough issue that people should go to jail for it, right? Or people should be punished for it. People should be able to get away with it. If she really is a victim, I think that that's probably her way out of this, is to basically, again, prove that her story is true. It's really that simple. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.